I've been avoiding talking about this for a while, partly because of embarrassment, feeling guilty, feeling like I've somehow let people down or myself or I've failed. I made a video a while ago talking about mental health medication and mirtazapine. Mirtazapine is a mental health medication. It helps with depression, OCD, and I believe it can help with anxiety as well. I made a video about it. I still stand by that video. Everything I said in that video I will link above, and I do still stand by that video. However, I am no longer taking mirtazapine. And it's not because it didn't work, it is because of the side effects. Now, if you are thinking about taking mirtazapine, you are on mirtazapine, or you have looked into having it or your doctor's mentioned it, please listen to your doctor. Everything that I'm going to say in this video is from my own personal experience, and everybody is different. I know people who take mirtazapine with no side effects. I know people who take it and have had different side effects, and I know people who take it and absolutely swear by it. So please do not let this video put you off. Don't assume that it will be the same for you. I started these videos knowing I wanted to be as honest as possible, and I feel like if I don't talk about this, I am not being honest with myself or with my viewers. I mentioned in the previous video that I had taken mirtazapine multiple times and I had stopped it, but at the time I was actively taking mirtazapine. I am no longer taking mirtazapine, and I am also no longer doing great mentally. I am on venlafaxine, I am still taking that, and at the time I was taking both of them together on the highest dose of venlafaxine. The reason I'm no longer taking mirtazapine is because of the weight gain, but it's much more complicated than that. If you are new to this channel, I suffer with an eating disorder and multiple mental health disorders. My eating disorder, however, has been pretty stable for quite a long time. Yes, I do have some slip-ups. I have an eating disorder as well as body dysmorphia, and I have dealt with this for as long as I can remember. I deal with my body dysmorphia in different ways, and even though those days that I have really bad days with it, I am much better and in a much better place in terms of how I look, how clothes look on me, and what I see in the mirror. Now, with mirtazapine, when I first started taking mirtazapine, it is excellent. It is great. It works amazingly well for my depression, for my mental health. I have, for the first few weeks of mirtazapine, once I get past the dry mouth and the drowsiness symptoms, there's not really any symptoms other than the ones I'm going to discuss. And I learned the best time to take it. So I took it at night because it would help me sleep and I wouldn't have that drowsiness effect in the day. Everything was fine in terms of normal side effects and symptoms of starting a new medication. For the first few weeks, sometimes even a couple of months, I would be completely day and night to when I'm in a deep depressive state. I'd have clarity, I would have emotions, I would feel happy, I would look forward to things, enjoyment, I could concentrate, I would get joy out of everyday little things. And that's why this is hard to make as a video, because I know how amazingly well this drug can work and how it works on me. However, the side effects that I'm going to discuss are just too much for me to cope with. With me and mirtazapine, I start getting excessively hungry almost straight away. It is, and it's not just I feel a little bit peckish, it is extreme, unavoidable hunger. There's times when I'm coming downstairs at night to eat, I'm eating constantly, and it's always really high carb kind of foods. And some people say you just need a bit more restraint. I have restraint. I become a vegetarian when I was 8 years old. Nobody in my family was a vegetarian, and I have been a vegetarian since then. I have restraint, especially around food. This was unimaginably impossible for me to not eat. I never felt full, and it was a constant hunger. And for somebody who's had an eating disorder, or who has an eating disorder, you know that it's not about the food and it's not really about the weight, it's about control. And even though I said before that I am in a stable place with my eating disorder, I eat as much as I should eat. I let myself have snacks and treats. I try to eat 3 meals a day, but I still have control of what I'm eating. This took away my control completely. So I had no control. Initially, for the first few weeks or months, the change in mood and my mental health being so much better was able to combat this. I could also rationalise it. I could say, okay, I'm eating more, but maybe I've been eating a little less while I was low, so it's really just making up for the lack of food that I was eating, etc., etc. Then the weight gain starts. For me, it is very fast and it is extreme. I want to make this very clear. I am not body shaming anybody, and I am aware that for a lot of people my weight might be goal weight, but please do remember, with mental health, with eating disorders, with personal preference, nobody can tell somebody what weight they feel comfortable at. Somebody could be a size 20 and feel body positive and happy with themselves, and somebody could be a size 6 and still be unhappy. So I am not here to shame people who are heavier than me. That is not my intention. I don't agree with body shaming. I believe that we are all beautiful, and this is the hard part. I've done blog posts about this. I talked about your mental health is so much more important than how you look, and I still stand by that, and I do believe that. But for me, the rapid weight gain and the non-stop weight gain on mirtazapine would always then send me into a cycle. It would get to the point where the positive improvement was so far outweighed by the eating disorder that would resurface so unbelievably and completely. I would, like I said, lose control. It was with the food, it was like I was in a constant binging state. If you know about eating disorders, there's so many different types. The eating disorders don't have a look, and you can be bulimic, anorexic, you can have just binge eating disorder, you can be constantly just thinking about food, you can be tracking your food, you can be limiting your food. It's complicated, but I used to limit and binge, mainly limit my intake. Now, because I didn't have any control of eating, it was like I was binge eating. Once that started and didn't stop, then came the guilt, then came the eating disorder, little voices in your head that don't stop, the feeling of failure, every single thing that I ate, and then the weight gain, the body dysmorphia. I could no longer tell in the mirror if I had gained another pound or I was just looking at myself like I had. Body dysmorphia is a real thing and it is scary. I look at pictures of myself when I was at my lowest, and I look at them now and they are horrific. I am skin and bone in those pictures, but I can tell you with 100% honesty that at the time, looking at myself, I never seen myself look like that. I stared at myself in the mirror and genuinely seen a large person, a person in the mirror that was not reflective of what I actually look like, because looking at those pictures, I don't recognise that person. I've never seen that person, but she obviously existed. That's what I look like at the time, and it's unfortunate that I couldn't see that at the time. So the body dysmorphia takes over. I can't trust myself anymore. I can't trust my eyes. I will start to spiral, and then comes the dark thoughts, and I am back in that dark place, but for a whole other reason. I can't concentrate anymore, but it's because all I'm thinking about is weight gain, food. I don't want to be here anymore because I'm thinking I'm a failure. I can't do this. Is this the only way I'm going to be able to be mentally stable? Is if I have to suffer with this eating disorder thinking. And people might say, well, it wasn't really an eating disorder because you were still eating. People can eat and have an eating disorder. Overeating is an eating disorder. Disordered thinking around food is an eating disorder. This was constant, it's non-stop, and the weight gain didn't stop. A lot of people will gain weight and plateau, I just gained and gained and gained, and again it was very fast and I couldn't cope with it. And this is the reason I've always ended up stopping mirtazapine. But I managed to take mirtazapine for the longest time that I had took it when I was making those videos about mirtazapine, and I truly believed that I was going to be able to push through. And this is the difficult part, because I made the decision along with my doctor to stop taking the mirtazapine. Also, I had in the past just taken myself off mirtazapine without tapering off it. Don't do that, it's dangerous. It's dangerous for your overall bodily health, and it's also dangerous because you can go into withdrawal, and also the dark thoughts, I don't know how you can word them on YouTube, but your dark thoughts can become so bad that you are unable to stop them for that period of time, and you just stop taking them. So always speak to your doctor if you want to come off any medication that you've been taking for a long period of time. But we decided to stop taking them, and for the first few weeks everything was fine, and then it was very slow. It was a slow decline of my mental health, and it was over weeks, then months, and now we're here. And I am not in a good place. Don't worry about me. I am seeing my doctor. I'm doing all the right things. We've increased my venlafaxine. I have taken some time off because I've got other stuff going on as well, like my bowel thing. But it's hard. It's hard to admit that you can't take the one thing that you know helps you because of an other problem. And I won't sugarcoat it. There's been days when I've felt completely hopeless. I don't see the point. I want to give up, but I don't, because I know that there's so many other people out there that feel the same way. I know that there's so many other treatment options, and there's new options every day. We are learning, we are as a society finding new ways to help with people's mental illnesses and mental health. There's medical miracles every day. So I know that there is hope, but I couldn't continue on this journey sharing my life and my mental health online with people believing that I was still taking that medication, especially after talking so much about body image and how you shouldn't care about it, because I still stand by that, but I felt like a fake and a liar. I couldn't cope with the side effects of mirtazapine, and that is okay. It is okay if you are taking mirtazapine and you are having side effects that you can't cope with. It doesn't make you weak or a failure or not wanting to help yourself by taking yourself off that medication, because if it gets to the point where the medication is hindering your mental health, it's not worth taking. If you're on mirtazapine and it works for you and it's great, I am so happy for you. I truly am. And if you're somebody who's worried about taking it, I promise you there are drugs out there that other people swear by that I did not get along with. There are drugs that I know that I like or that help me for other things that other people don't get along with. My one story is not everybody's experience, and it's also not to scare you. I just have to make this video because I know that there will be some people maybe in the same position, and there's so much stigma around people with mental health not helping themselves, and if they just help themselves then they would be fine, and it's selfish for not helping, etc. So I know how hard it can be coming off medication when you know that people are going to judge you for it, or there will be people who don't understand. Well, it's just weight gain, you're so selfish, you're going to put your mental health at risk. But if it's already risking your mental health for other reasons, it's not worth it. There are other medications, there are other therapies and treatments. But please, if you are considering trying mirtazapine and you've spoken about it with a doctor, go for it. Try it, because like I said, for those few weeks or months, I have never felt better. And if I was able to, I know that my life would be so much better off being able to take that medication. So don't be scared. I know this is a bit of a upsetting, sad video, but I felt it was important to make because there are so many different drugs out there that have side effects and people are shamed for it, but I have got a great doctor. There's other people that won't understand, and I battle with it often, and I just want to stop getting on this roller coaster of hoping that the next time I take it, it'll be different, because it hurts too much. It hurts too much to start taking it and have that clarity and that peace, and then have to stop taking it again, and then feeling the guilt all over again. So I am on a new journey now. I am trying different things. I am on the highest dose, or almost the highest dose of venlafaxine. I've been on that for a long time because I was on it with the mirtazapine anyway, because of how severe my mental health is. So I'm still on that. I've not stopped taking that. I will keep you updated on any more treatment. I'm going to start therapy again. I'm going through a lot at the moment. What's new? But I don't want people to be put off by medication. Medication is amazing. If I wasn't on medication, I could not live. Some people need medication to survive. Just because it's a mental illness does not mean that it deserves treatment any less. People will say, oh, how long do you have to be on that for? You wouldn't say how long do you have to be on insulin to a diabetic. Some mental illnesses are chronic. Some people are born with a mental illness, or they start getting they receive a mental illness. That's not right. But some people get there's the situational mental health, the situational depression, when that situation is fixed, or they've been on the medication for a short period of time, they are able to then move on with their lives. And then there's clinical depression, which is what I have. There is OCD, there is anxiety, there's trauma-induced mental health, there is schizophrenia. All of these things and others may need to be medicated for life. That doesn't make you weak, and you deserve to be treated just as the same as somebody who's broken a leg, or who has cancer, or who has a physical illness. So please, this is not a shame of medication. I love mental health medication. It's not for everybody, but it is for some people, and that is absolutely fine. But I wanted to be completely honest about mirtazapine in as positive as a way as I could. So that is my update today on mirtazapine. Please do let me know down below your experiences. Please try to keep it positive. You can be completely honest. I want honest comments. So if you've had a bad experience, please do put it down below. But remember, we don't want to scare. I don't want scare tactics. I think we should all share our experiences and learn from them, and we can feel supported, and we can feel like we're not alone without scaring people. But let me know down below if you've never tried it. If you've got any questions, please leave them down below. I will get back to you. Other people in the comments might get back to you. And please do share this with anybody that you know might be thinking about mirtazapine, or who are struggling with mirtazapine. That is everything for now. I will leave my previous video linked up here and down there, because it did go into more detail about mental health medication in general. Please do subscribe, and if you could watch this video or some of my other videos, because I'm trying to get 4,000 hours of watch time so I can get monetized here on YouTube. I've reached over 1,000 subscribers, which was a goal of mine for so long, but that 4,000 hours of watch time is so far into the future, it feels. But that is everything for now. So wherever that you are, I hope you have a lovely morning, day or night, and I will see you again next time. Bye.